Hello, and thanks for tuning in to the Eclectic Collection. Today is episode 37, Be Our Guest. As our title might indicate, yep, we're talking some awesome customer service people, and you know who that might be? The mouse himself. So it is the 50th anniversary going on right now down in Mickey World, and it's no secret that I'm obsessed with Mickey World because there's two stages of life. There's planning to go to Mickey World and actually being in Mickey World. There's really the only two things you need. And recently, I was lucky enough to be able to go down in April. My buddy's in the Air Force, and he had been deployed for an extra long deployment. And he came back, and he wanted to do a 10-year vow renewal with his wife. So a while ago, when we had gone over the summer last year, he said, you know, talk to me about this. Can we plot this? And we've been working on it since. So pretty much it was like a year in the planning. And I know I always rave about the parks and the customer service and the restaurants and everything. And they're all certainly deserving of it, especially after all that's been going on in the world. But honestly, this is a whole new level because it's a Disney experience. And not to say that there aren't so many different Disney experiences that you can have. But I've been fortunate enough to plan two now. My friend got married years ago, and then 5 years later, for her 5th anniversary, I did a similar situation with Disney vow renewal. And I have to say, that was a beautiful and ceremony and fantastic situation and experience as well. But they have even stepped up their game from then till now. So this one was even more elaborate, more in depth, and had many more options. Because as the parks and the conglomerate have evolved, so have all the different accoutrements that can go along with it, and different things that they've invented along the way, and that you can have as part of your ceremony. And it was just a really neat event, and truly a flawless day, and really, really cool. You could always do things as big or as little as you want, but it truly speaks to the customer service level of Disney. And say what you want, think what you want. Of course, they're a $1 billion company. God even knows what they are in terms of, they're always trading stocks and whatnot, and well, because they know what they're doing and they've been around for a long time. Certainly there's the Disney Plus platform everybody talks about with all the cool new shows and things, and they've reinvented themselves several times. But regardless what you like or don't like, and I'm not a fan of standing in line in the sun for hours on end either, but there is so much more good that outweighs what could be considered the challenging or the negative. And really, I've never worked there, and it was funny because when I got down there, we jokingly talked about me working there, and I actually even got offered a job, sort of, kind of, from the people that I was working with that were truly a delight to work with. And I just got a kick out of it because I could see how and why they do what they do. And it is really a testament to the people that work behind the scenes all the time. So all that magic and the Tinkerbell of it all, yes, it's true, but those people are supremely dedicated to their jobs. I really can't say, as much as I've been there, and I try to go there as often as I can, I have never caught anyone off. They're never out of character. They're never down, even if it's a bad day or something, they just kind of say it with a smile and move on. I jokingly call it Disney boot camp because, they're trained to behave a certain way, but they really do. And I've gone to other theme parks and places, which shall remain nameless, and they're big names too, and they're good. And I do generally like the people, and I believe that they are genuinely customer service oriented, but it is not the same. It is markedly different. And not only does Disney take the crown on that, pun intended, but they really don't, I'll say, advertise as much as it's the people. And I get it because they're going for the magic of it all, but it's really the people that drive it. It's the guy sweeping the street, and it's the woman that's waiting tables, it's the person at the little stand selling you a balloon, the photographers on the streets. They all really build into one gigantic, happy, magical moment that they create together. For example, when I originally contacted the wedding bridal experience portion, which there's a million different experiences you can have, as I said, but I had kind of worked with them before and knew sort of where it was going. I was immediately contacted back within 24 hours, and you get a team, and that team is with you the whole time. And this is all stuff that I do up here in Philly, so I'm very adept, I'll say, at handling multiple facets of a wedding, and I've been the wedding coordinator a million times. I've done the planning part, but it was how many states away and flawless and truly a seamless experience that you just get a team. And I had, the flower team, I had the food team, I had the wine and beverage team, I had the team for the entertainment, etc., and so forth. It was really fascinating that they broke it all down, put it all together, broke it all down again, and then pulled it all off. And you have a whole ton of people that are just backing you the entire step of the way and really want you to have the best experience possible. And I also think of those little details too, that I'm a freak because I do this all the time, so I know what to look for, but they were even on par with a lot of things that would be minutia, little micro details that they were like, well, how about we do this? Or why don't we try that color? Or how about, we change this style of chair, like down to the little bit, which sometimes are things people don't really worry about, and sometimes it makes all the difference. So every little bit and detail that they could do, they did to make it perfect, even down to the little ornament that was put on her flowers to give a nod to Belle. That's her favorite princess. So we actually had Belle. We were fortunate enough to have Belle come and be a part of the ceremony after the fact. And we were really fortunate to have the whole team there introduce themselves, and they were just beyond tickle pink to make it all a wonderful day. And it really was. And we were lucky with rain because Florida can be unpredictable with weather, but we were very lucky. It was at the Grand Floridian, and there's a little place outside that they have sort of a nook that's put aside, a little alcove for weddings, and it was on the water, and you could see the boats in the background. It was very, very neat, and had people come in, and they had a violinist, and had the little bar set up out there. We could do rose petals. Purple's her thing, so we put little purple showering of flowers, and had a little champagne out there, and it was even the champagne from the Be Our Guest restaurant. So it was everything, all things Belle. And then we did overlay in the cake that way and had the background. And then the final surprise was that Belle actually showed up. So everything was really planned well, and to the nines with these people. They were so great to work with, and I can't say it enough. Granted, this was a very specific, big event, but even on the small level, and I always go through the parks and take people's names and where they're from or what station they were working at, even if it's a guy selling me a Coke or somebody that's just assisting you on a ride or just being polite and helpful, because they will do, and they're happy to do it all the time. I think it's a special kind of person that truly works there. And sometimes it's even to the credit of the kids. I have a soft spot for teenagers because I'm a teacher, but the high school level kids that are from Florida that can go in and work, and the collegiate kids or the international students and people that come in and work at Epcot or take on a more significant role in the cultural piece, or even all the equity actors and dancers and performers that put on the makeup and put on those suits and go out in 9 gabillion Fahrenheit heat every day to brave through the Florida sun. And, now we're back to like hugging all the characters and everything again. So it doesn't matter how much challenge or how many things get in their way. They're really just excellent at customer service, and they're fantastic at making whatever the event is perfect. And it's hard to get that word really going anymore because not everything is perfect, but it will come close. And I want to give a major shout out to the team that helped me. And as again, I said, we met at the Grand Floridian. So I had talked to Kathy. Kathy was my go-to. She was the actual event coordinator with me. I had also talked to Rachel, Melissa. Vince was fantastic. We joked about working together. I would totally take him up on that. Claudia was there for our daily needs. Shelly was actually one of the supervisors that came out just to check on everything and make sure it was all going well. Jeff was our head waiter, and Lydia was there as a server as well, and totally made sure everybody had a specific dietary needs. We had a vegetarian among us, and make sure all the steaks and such were cooked correctly. Zach was like our on-site person to help out for any little need that we had. We had Rob, our bartender, and Aaron, and then we had Rob, our violinist, who was fantastic. So everyone that I dealt with was supreme, and Teresa was our officiant, who came in from Teresa Knox, who came in to actually perform the ceremony. So they're all the team. Big shout out. And, you know, if you don't know this, people complain more than they say good things. So don't be that person. Yes, if you need to acknowledge something wrong or fix a mistake, by all means, contact that individual. But first rule, go to the individual themselves. And second rule, go into it amicably. Don't assume that things are going to be horrible and terrible. And I equate it, again, in education, just because you got called to the principal's office doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. Who's to say that you weren't Student of the Month and you're getting an award or you got honor roll? Good things can happen. But on the flip side, people are really great to say, oh, that was such a good time, I loved it, but they don't pay it forward or share it. They'll tell their friends and family, but they won't go say as much. Now, in this social media world, I feel like they will more than before, but people tend to gripe more, and misery breeds company, than they say good things. So whether you know it or not, you can always give a shout out to anyone in the entirety of Disney by telling, you can email this, you can do it in the Disney app, and certainly you can express your thanks to them personally. However, if you do go back and send a letter, I always send a letter. I've done this in the app as well, but I always send a letter with every single person whose name I gathered from whatever station they were at, and explain how helpful they were, what they did. And if you can catch where they're from on their name tag, it'll have a name and their country or city of origin and just where they were. So, for example, if somebody was at Peter Pan helping you at that place, you know, who was it and where are they from? But you can go and do this and give them a little shout out. And I do believe that they at least acknowledge them and, you know, give them the little pat on the back and the good job that they so rightfully deserve. And sometimes if you get enough little pat on the backs, it can amount to a perk for them. And they certainly deserve it, because you know that not everyone is pleasant to work with, unfortunately. And again, people are quicker to complain than they are to say thank you to something. Overall, I have to say, because it's a, you know, kid's place theoretically, although I would argue that adults are just as happy there. Just the nature of children and family. Of course, it's a lighter atmosphere, and it's generally a positive place to be. But there's still negatives that go along with it that they can't control. The ride's breaking down, or weather, or whatever may have gone wrong, and they will do their best to either remedy the situation or, you know, help you through whatever requests that you have. And generally, always with a smile. And they're just a really great company. And again, I don't work for them. I'm not. I'm only endorsing them because I do go there often, and I like to go there because it is positive, and you are in your own little bubble. I love that Walt, you know, created a separate place where you can't see or be near the regular world, and that's not without accident. That's really a wonderful thing to be completely consumed and enveloped in this world, you know, of fantasy, if you will, of whatever town or little space you're in, whether it's Tomorrowland or whether you're at Animal Kingdom or whether you're at Epcot or Hollywood Studios or any of the resorts, etc. It was really brilliant Imagineering on his part. So, and the company still, I think, rises up to those challenges today and would make Walt proud. So I'm saying that because in a generality, yes, I don't care where you're talking about, Disney or otherwise, always go for the thank you and more with honey than vinegar approach, because everybody complains, especially in this day and age. Do we have to be so grumpy? I would say no. So look for the positive. If there isn't, like I said, yeah, fix it. But if not, look at the silver lining or the bright side of whomever helped you to get to the other side of the conclusion. A lot of times people get what they want, they walk away, they never even say thank you. That's not right. or they don't think about all that went into the behind the scenes of it all. You just see that person that performed per se that day, and not all that went into it behind the scenes, whether it was the chef or the server or the person, getting you there, transportation or sanitation or whoever was involved. So I always say secretaries and janitors run the school and the administrators get a lot of the credit, but it's very true. So shout out to all the behind the scenes people. Anyhow, next time you get any positive experience from any place that you go, leave some positive feedback. Tell them they did a good job. Shake their hand, say thank you, give a tip if appropriate, whatever it may be, and let that be your lesson to not wallow in the grumpy, but look for the good thing. If you liked what you heard today, then check us out at the eclecticcollectionpodcast.com or listen to us on your preferred platform. I'm Terry Tenaglia. Thanks for listening.